on it. Everybody, come on, throw your hands up. We got that feel-good music, that vibe that make you wanna lose it. Everybody stop what you doing, rock to the music, bounce to the music. For all my people all across the globe, we got that feel-good music that'll heal your soul. No matter what, hit the damn floor.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? It's your man Vince Pass in the building. Y'all know what it is. He back. I had to take 3 weeks off, man. You know, I dropped like 45 episodes, so you can catch it all on YouTube. You know where I'm at. You feel what I'm saying? The Vince Pass experience is here. You dig? This is what I do about this time. But y'all know what I'm always passionate about. You feel what I'm saying? You know, I always flash the number across the bottom of the screen. National Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255. Always remember, man, people need people. You dig what I'm saying? So if you're walking around here talking about you all right and you really not all right, you dig what I'm saying? Get with somebody, man, because, yo, it's tough out here. You know what I mean? We living in way different times. It wasn't like when we were younger. So you got to understand, we got to evolve. We got to bounce, roll, and shake the same way. You know what I'm saying? So, yo, make sure you get with somebody. Again, National Suicide Prevention Hotline number, 1-800-273-8255. Y'all know that's my passion right there. You feel me? Hey, yo, you ever on Twitter, follow my man. You did what I'm saying, Drop Squad 52, Black Not Democrat. You know what I'm saying? He's always giving y'all the edgy politics. So whatever you want to know about politics, that's my guy. You feel me? He true facts. He do all that. You know, he investigates. He do everything. So, yo, follow my man. You did what I'm saying. 50 grand in the building. Drop Squad 52. Y'all know what it is. Listen, you got anybody tuned in right now? There we go. YouTube.com/Vince Pass 1. That's where you can catch it right now. Tweet it out. Send it out to your people. Let's get it popping. I'm on like 8 different platforms, so give me a second. You feel me? So I'm also on Facebook, which I'm on right now. I'm on Twitter.com/Vince Pass TV. I'm all over the place. You did what I'm saying? I'm even right here too. I'm on Twitch.tv.com. You feel what I'm saying? Twitch.tv.com, which is probably one of the dopest sites you can actually be on for your platform. So, yo, and it's really unrestricted with the exception of playing certain music. So, you know, you got to make sure you get certain releases for that site. But anyway, at the end of the day, it's really an awesome site. You dig what I mean? Shout out to Wifey. She on here right now. Favorite podcaster in the building. Rhonda True Fire. What's going on, man? Everything is good. Everything is good. If you out there, man, yo, listen. Tune in. Lock in. You feel me? You want to call in? The telephone number to the show is 513-429-5964. Again, the number is 513-429-5964. Usually, y'all see me in the background, right? But no, not tonight. I'm going to slide to the right. You dig what I'm saying? I got my man, Dr. Enqi. He in the queue right now, the American healer, waiting to drop some fire for all my peoples out there. You dig what I'm saying? And this is what we getting ready to do. So look, I'm going to drop these last 2 spots for my peoples because, you know, they always very deserving of this. Yo, catch my peoples on the Truth Be Told podcast. You dig what I'm saying? They be popping and rocking on IG. Catch my man King Glam. You dig what I'm saying? Catch with Rain Hostess with the Mostest. The TBT crew, 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and especially on Wednesdays. They got Spotlight Night on Wednesday, so they really be having fun. Yo, check them out. They built a platform organically. They didn't bother to pay nobody for it. They didn't pay for viewers. They didn't do any of that. You dig what I'm saying? Anthony Anderson follow them. Tracy Ross follows them. So, you know, they really built their program organically, man. You dig what I'm saying? So I just want to definitely give a shout out to them. Shout out to my people on the Truth Be Told podcast. Y'all know what it is. And then, of course, you know, got to give my man CO the love from Fatty Boy Records. You dig what I'm saying? So, look, let me tell y'all something about CO Gold Productions. He do a lot of stuff in the South that a lot of people don't know about. So he just dropped his mixtape. You dig what I'm saying? So he got a couple of joints out right now with some real popular people. Go check them out. Check them out on IG, CO Gold Mixtape, and you get out. Get out, my boy. You dig? So, look, without any further ado, coming straight to you from the metaverse. You dig what I'm saying? Because we out here. You feel what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all something. I'm a one-man show. So if I don't take something off the screen quick enough for y'all, don't laugh at me, all right? You know, I'm just a one-man show, player. You're just a one-man show. All right? So look, without further ado, I'm gonna bring my man in. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Enqi. You dig what I'm saying? Hold on, Dr. Enqi. I see you, buddy. Where you at? You're not on my screen. Hold on.
I'm right
You,
here.
I hear you, but I gotta see you. I'm trying to see where you at. Where my cameras at? Where my video?
I
Oh, they're
don't
about
know.
to go in right now.
Wait, maybe I should go out and come back in.
Hold on for 1 second. Let me do something real quick. It might just be me. Let me see. Let me see. Contain shift one. I don't understand why the brother's not showing up. Hold on, everybody. I'm gonna have the little peace. Peace. Yo, hold on, man. Listen, we're not gonna do this tonight. We're not gonna let the forces get in the way of this. You did what I'm saying? I gotta get my guy on here. Hold on for a second, Doc. Let me do something real quick. Stay on real fast. I'm gonna have to change something. Let me change the setting real quick. Boom. See how this go here. Bring Doc Inky back in. But some is blocking it from actually showing. We got to figure this out real fast. All right, Dr. Inky, I got you on right now. That's really what's more important to me. You feel what I mean? I don't understand why this is happening. Cameras, cameras are acting up, but it's all good. Yo, listen, everybody. If you can see Dr. Inky, you did what I'm saying. Put it in the chat. Be like, you can see him. You can see him. You know what I mean? You can hear my voice still. That's all that matters. You did what I'm saying. What's up, Doc?
Hey, man, just trying to make it happen, trying to spread the word, trying to let folks know that it's a new day out on these streets. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that we can do, and a lot that we should do, and a lot that we need to do. And you know, the bag is out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to make sure that once we finally get that bag, we healthy enough to spend it and enjoy it.
Right, for sure, for sure. Hold on, Doc. I think I figured it out. Bam. Here we go. BX is in the building. Shout out Dr. Inky. Knowledge born of law is in the building. Peace, beloved. Doc, you can hear me now?
Hey.
Okay, we can see each other too. Okay, we in the house now. All right, so
Yeah.
look, man, we gonna jump. Hey, I just want to let y'all know, Doc thought, hey, Doc probably thought it when he saw me and everything, he saw the One Voice, One Mic podcast. This is going to be a super formal interview. No, Doc, we go in here. You feel what I'm saying? Can't let your hat down, Playboy. You feel me? New Yorkers in the house, you dig? Without a doubt. So look, man, Dr. Inky, I'm gonna tell you, man. You know, I've been all over them. I've been all over the internet. You dig what I'm saying? Looking at a lot of the stuff that you're doing right now. You feel what I'm saying? I want to know, and I know the people want to know, who is Dr. Inky? Who is he? Where did he come from?
Well, where did I come from? The
That's
simple
right.
answer:
Where did the Dr. Inky evolve from?
evolve from and come from two different answers. I came from 158th Street in the Bronx.
Okay, man.
But I guess if you ask where I evolved from, you know, just pain and tragedy, to be honest, and you know, a little bit of God dust on, you know, and
No
then
doubt.
and then we here.
So, go ahead, Doc. I'm listening to you. Are you good?
Yep. My dog is
Okay.
barking in the background, but I'm good.
So Doc, listen. You know, I was looking at all of the abbreviations behind your name, right? And then I seen an article, and it kind of explained it for me. So he's an ordained minister, master herbalist, PT personal trainer, SN sports nutritionist, right? ND a naturopathic doctor. Yeah, I've been doing my homework, Doc. Slow up here, Doc. So now I'm understanding. So now I'm understanding. So I had to go deep. I said, man, yo, hold on, I need to find out what all this means, because my girlfriend asked, what's all these name abbreviations behind his name? You feel me? So you're an ordained minister. Were you born in PK?
No. I went to school and became an ordained minister.
Yes, sir.
But that was like early on because most of my early research, like in my teenage into my 20s, was centered around the Bible and
Right.
the Quran and the religious text, but never religion. I wasn't into that part. It was just more about what science was there. I was trying to figure out a lot of like what was our ancestors like. A lot of the people in the health space, they always talk about what they did before medicine,
Right.
but it's not like they're not like a record of where they're coming from with it. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to find basis for some of the things that my contemporaries and even some of my predecessors were talking about, like Dr. Sebi. Um, Weird thing about Dr. Sebi, you got a lot of people that follow Dr. Sebi that don't follow Dr. Sebi.
Mm.
So there's a lot of people out that say that they're atheists, but they follow Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi, all his early stuff was out of the Bible. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like the herbs are for the healing of the nation, the fast, and just the plant-based lifestyle. All that's there. So a lot of it was centered around that. You know what I'm saying? And then as I guess my works, started to accumulate, people, shout out to my bros Ben and Chick, childhood friends, and they was like, you probably want to, if you really gonna take that serious, go get you some papers somewhere to say you somebody. Go get you some papers. You know what I mean? But I honestly argued them down. I was like, nah, I don't need that to do what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I didn't get into this to, like this ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you told me before this show, like this ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Right.
was telling them, this ain't really that. Because I was working at Verizon. You know what I'm saying? I was making like 70, 80K at Verizon selling phones. So I was good. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not a bunch of money, but as far as I was concerned, I was, I didn't need nothing. And you still do your ones and twos, So yeah, I was Gucci. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
my daughter got hit by a car, neck, spine broken, and her body was really twisted. And they said she probably wouldn't make it out of ICU. So I just stepped in, and long story short, when I was able to heal her where the hospital couldn't, the people just it just started spreading like the grass, not even grassroots. You intend on something spreading. So I can't even say grassroots. The word just got out because it was nasty, the accident, and everybody thought she was dying. Everybody thought she was dead. It was a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Friends, family, because I was the last one to get there. I'm at work when it happened. You know what I'm saying? She's supposed to be with her mama, and that's a whole nother story. I get to the hospital, the family and all that's there, close friends, neighborhood people and everything. So they was like, pretty much writing her off, listening to the doctors type of vibe. And, so once, fast forward 6-7 months, I got her back limping around in school with her buddies. It's, the word is out there now. It's like, oh, nah,
Right.
whatever that crazy stuff he be talking, he knows something about whatever that stuff is. You know what I'm saying? So now starting to ask me all kind of questions. I got a fungus here. I got a burning, I got a, all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
And so, mind you, though, at the time when my daughter's accident happened, I didn't flat out quit my job. I had went on to like disability or one of them like extended, So in the back of my FMLA maybe or something like that. So the time in the back of my mind anyway, I'm thinking I'm gonna go back to my gig after this is all said and done. And I did for a little while, but it just didn't work. But people were hitting me up and I would just tell people stuff. That's the point of me saying I was thinking about going back to my gig, is because I wasn't trying to, like, it wasn't a financial, I wasn't trying to entrepreneur it. I was
Right.
getting my money over there, and I was into the music. Like that was
Right.
my thing, music, music, music. And so I would just tell people stuff like, hey, get this and get that, mix these together, take this for 2 weeks, 30 days, just I was telling, and then slowly but surely, people are lazy, right? So the question is, hey, can you go get it for me? You know what I'm saying? Or if people don't do it the right way, they like, can you mix it up for me? Can you? And so after a while, it was it just became easy for me to have the main stuff that I was telling people to go get at the house. I'm like, all right, well, yeah, I got those here. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of just grew to people like, hey, I got a group over here at my church. Can you come and explain to them what it is that you're saying? And then, so I started going to a lot of churches, and those were all like one hitter quitters
Right. Gotcha.
because yeah, because once I come to your church one time, I'm wearing out my welcome the very first night. They're never gonna have me back again. You know what I'm saying? Because immediately I'm going right for pastor's throat. Like, listen, all these people in your church are sick, and it's your fault, buddy.
Oh, explain that to me.
Well, because the Bible got the blueprint on how to eat. Like I said,
Mm,
Dr. Sadie, the most world renowned outside of myself, I guess I would say, um, the blueprint right there. You know what I'm saying? The fruits, the vegetables with the seeds in it. You know what I'm saying? The
mhm,
natural stuff. If all else fails, go to the herbs. You know what I'm saying? The Bible is a vegan book. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people get it twisted and they go, oh, but Exodus, this, that, and the other, or over here they said this, this, and that. And it's like, no, that's not reading that out of context. There's a lot of out of context reading when it comes to the Bible. So there's only two places in the Bible where it really explicitly says that you should eat meat. And um, those two places are in the wilderness and after the flood. And
mm,
when you get those out of context and you don't apply common sense, you don't get it. In order to have husbandry or to have raised fruits and vegetables, it takes a couple of seasons. You got to plant, you got to sow, you got to sow hard. It takes a while for that.
right.
And you got to know what it is that you consuming, because just as many nutrients or nutritious plants that nature makes, she makes poisonous ones. So you can't just go, oh, I'm plant based. If it's a plant, then it's good. Like a lot of people say, oh, it's plant based, so it's good for you. That's a damn lie. That's
Mm,
super lie. Just because it's plant based does not make it good. And you could be on a plant based diet and get diabetes, cancer, and everything else. So people just, they don't really know what it is they're talking about. But going back to the Bible thing, yeah, it was just those two spots where it was like, okay, cool, eat meat. And then the craziest part about those two instances is the sets of animals that the Bible says are clean versus the dirty ones is basically the animals that eat plants. Those are the good animals to eat. The animals
ah,
that eat animals are the dirty animals. Those
right.
are the poisoned animals. So you have to stop. And even before you think about the food, say to yourself, wait a minute. The Bible says that animals that eat plants are healthy and the animals that eat animals are poisoned. Am I a poisoned animal? Right? So that's the first step. But then the second thing is you apply the common sense and go, okay, if we eat the animals that eat the plants, we're at least getting the nutrients secondhand. If we eat animals that eat animals, there are really no nutrients left. It's just blood and
Mm.
fat, because
Hold on,
all of
Doc.
the
Say that one more time. So say that one more time for the people in the back.
yeah. So if we eat all of the nutrients that we require that we cannot make ourselves, let's put it that way. So
Okay.
the vitamins, the minerals, the amino acids, the antioxidants that our bodies cannot make, we have to get from plants.
Okay.
Animals don't have those things. The only time an animal has a nutrient that we need that we can't make is because that animal somehow ate it from a plant source.
Gotcha.
Even if you go into like the omega-3 craze where everybody's like, yeah, you got to have fish, or salmon, or this one or that one. No fish make omega-3. That is like, yeah, that's this foolishness. Fish concentrate omega-3 because fish eat a lot of seaweed.
Mm.
So, it's always going to come from nature, you know what I'm saying? The nutrients. So if you eat the fish, for instance, you're getting the leftover omega-3 that the fish didn't metabolize, use, and get rid of from what he ate from the seaweed. But now
Right.
you from Brooklyn, I'm from the Bronx. We raised to do what? Get rid of the middleman. Like that's what
Yeah.
we raised to get rid of the middleman. Now we
Facts.
wait a minute, I'm only getting the cut right at it. I'm not, I thought this wasn't stepped on, but this thing, I don't want the stepped on. I
I
want the
don't want
pure.
to step on. Right.
I need mine uncut. You know what
Gotcha.
I'm saying? So once we figure that out, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. God was saying until you figure out and learn the plants that are here, or until you can grow your own plants, these are the animals that know the local plants. So they're going to be very nutritious. Eat them because that way you'll be able to get what you need. If you
So
eat these
real
animals,
quick, Doc. So when I was younger, I was going to camp as a kid. You feel what I'm saying? I was going to Clearpool, upstate New York. And so that was the first time I ever heard about about eating venison, about eating deer. Okay. And so now I mean if I'm 51, I always used to hear how nutritious they were. Now I ate venison, a little tougher meat, you know what I'm saying? Very good though, especially when it's open on the barbecue pit, but that's another story, another day. So so now that I'm hearing you, you feel what I'm saying? Deers are plant-based animals. They don't eat meat. They eat nothing but plants. You feel what I'm saying? But then I'm thinking
a
about
much
how
that's a much more nutritious
right
meat source than.
meat
But see,
source.
yeah, but the problem with that is the problem with that is people don't know how to eat meat properly.
Mm, explain
Any
that.
type of meat. So I got you. I'm coming with it.
I,
They don't know how to eat any type of meat properly. That's the number one piece, right? And then the second thing is there are some natural meats because chicken is not a real animal.
Wait a minute. Say that one more time. He said a chicken is not a real animal.
Chicken, chicken is not a real animal. Chicken is hybrid. It's a hybrid animal, man-made. The cow is a man-made thing. In fact, one of the most popular stories in the Bible is about cows being hybrid. Um, so yeah, cows are hybrid. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look this stuff up. You look up the A1 cows versus the A2 cows and the different. Yeah, it's cows are hybrid. And then also pigs are hybrid. Pigs are not a natural animal.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know they hybrid.
Those are the
I,
major
I don't eat
three.
them anyway.
Right. But I mean, those are the major three sources of meat for the population. So a
Facts.
lot of times, if you even talk about maybe turkey and deer and some of the other, natural animals, it's like the first thing is um, are you going to have a supply of this? You know what I'm saying? Like, because what people will do is they might go out and get some venison Thursday, and then that's that. After that, they eating lobster, chicken, pork, beef, and then 6 months later they might have a piece of turkey or back to some venison. Like, so if it's not going to be that all the time, then and then the other major piece is when you're eating any type of protein. This is plant, animal, plant or animal, right?
Mhm.
The metabolism of protein produces two major problems: ammonia and sulfurous acid. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be chicken, it could be venison, it could be dragon, it could be kale, it could be peanut butter, any sort of protein. Breaking it down, you're going to produce sulfurous acid and ammonia. Now, when you have a plant, this is what the major difference that separates plant-based protein from animal-based protein. And this is like, took a lot of firsthand research to figure this stuff out. So yeah, you're not going to really hear this anywhere else until people start repeating me. But the major difference is that the plants come with phytic acid. And phytic acid is usually referenced as an anti-nutrient, meaning something that's not good for you. But that's because folks don't stay in the studio long enough to figure out that phytic acid is there to neutralize the metabolic byproducts of proteins and breakdown, protein metabolism. So basically, the plant-based proteins come with their own acid buffers, which is
Mm.
phosphorus, right? The animal-based protein does not. So now you have to pull calcium and phosphorus from the bone to try to neutralize, or you're going to have, just high amounts of uric acid and some other, you know, problematic stuff coming from the metabolism. So if we say, for instance, if we were to, now, obviously, I think the best way to do is to wean off and not have it. But if we're going to eat meat, we never ever want to combine meat with starch. And we
Mm.
always combine meat with starch. Like that's the
Yeah, we do.
we add our burgers and our hot dogs and our sausages to French fries, steaks go
Right.
with potatoes. Like we always put the meat with the starch. The starch combined with the meat, it makes super, super, super toxic, rancid metabolites. We never want to combine um, meat with sugar, and we always do that, whether it's ketchup, barbecue sauce, this one, that one, or the other.
Mm.
Like, so now if we were to have meat, you know what I'm saying, and say for instance we would have like a steak with just some greens
Right.
or just a salad, you know what I'm saying? That's a decent way to have your meat. You know what I'm saying? That's a decent way to have your meat. It's an improvement on most people's diets,
Hmm.
and you'll start to just watch your body change with that one change alone. You know what I'm saying? And see, a lot of people in the holistic space, they in this mindset now where they only work with folks that want to be plant-based. I don't. I work with people wherever they at because I have a lot of athletes and stuff that hit me up, and it don't matter what kind of herbs you tell somebody in NBA or NFL, like they're not giving up their meat, like because
Right.
some of
They
them,
not giving up them steaks.
right, some of them will, you know what I'm saying, but for the most part, it's a lot easier for them to maintain their athleticism with the meat as opposed to being a little bit more meticulous to get the cleaner source of amino acids in. You know
So,
what I'm
Doc,
saying?
look, I got a question I want to ask. So, across the bottom of the screen, I took something from out of an article that that you was interviewed in. It says melanin does not perform photosynthesis. It is instead a photovoltaic. Did
Yes.
I pronounce it right?
Photovoltaic.
Okay, photovoltaic. Explain that. I never even heard of the word photovoltaic before.
I appreciate you for your honesty. Um, most people haven't though. They like, but it's institutionalized racism. Um, one of its faces. So it's very difficult for us to be taken serious in the health space. Even in the health space, they try to keep the faces as light as possible.
Facts.
and they try to keep the issues that way as well. So largely pigment doesn't come up in conversations when it should be. And there's a concerted effort to avoid pigment in scientific conversations.
Mm.
So I have to put that to the forefront because the main thing that I deal with is predicated upon the difference in the pigment content amongst people. That's the
Okay.
reason why Black people have a 200% higher rate or proclivity to have type 2 diabetes or metabolic diabetes than anybody else does. It's because
Mm.
our higher concentration of pigment. That's literally what creates the difference. And so not having education surrounding that is what leaves us defenseless. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like I had I wrote an article that kind of started this whole American healer thing. And in my research, I found that insulin was not the key central figure of diabetes or type 2 diabetes specifically. It was melanin concentrating hormone. And most people had never even heard of that. A lot of people was like, yo, he making that up. He trying to scam
Mm.
us. That ain't a real thing. I'm like, bruh, we're all online. Why not before you say something crazy like that, just Google it and type in melanin concentrate hormone and see if that's a thing. And people were starting to pull that up and be like, wow, I cannot believe this. This is the hormone that's actually in charge of sugar metabolism and sugar homeostasis and energy and appetite and all of the things that we thought we had no control over. There's actually a hormone that does that. It just so happens that there's no coverage of this hormone. At least I'm talking to people that are nurses, I'm talking to doctors, I'm talking to diabetics that have been diabetic for 10, 20, 30 years. They never heard of this. They don't know what I'm talking about until they look it up
Mm.
and go, wow, this is insane. So that is the largest problem that we're dealing with. And I'm circling back around to this thing at the bottom. Now, there's a Spanish guy named Arturo Herrera, and he came up with this idea that melanin does photosynthesis. Now, me, again, I was super insulted. Because when I looked the guy up, the guy doesn't even have any lectures out there where he's talking to melanated people. I look up his audiences and nobody has any melanin in the audience. I'm like,
Mm.
for me, that's problematic because you could read 1,000 books on this and still not come close to really understanding this, at least not at the level that you and I may understand this, because we have
Right.
to wear this for our entire life. We live in it. So you may go in the laboratory and play around with it a couple years for your college study, or you may read up on it, but there's nothing like living in the experiment.
Facts.
So when I coupled that to the research that I was doing about diabetes, obviously you're researching diabetes, the first thing you're going to deal with is sugar. When I
For
start
sure.
looking at sugar, all hell breaks loose. I find out when I'm looking at the sugar that Christopher Columbus was the first guy to bring sugar here to the Americas.
Here you go.
So, so I'm already like, hold up, man. I'm already looking at this information like this is getting crazy now. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm figuring out, okay, so this is why Christopher Columbus is famous. This ain't got nothing to do with him discovering nothing, because everybody in first grade know you can't discover a place that people's already at. So clearly
Right.
you're not famous for discovering. What you discovered was the block, basically. Like that's what he discovered. You discovered the commerce. You discovered the store. You discovered the untapped market that you could get busy in by bringing the sugar plant over here and then having those people that were already there, the Native Americans,
Right.
to be able to create your free labor around.
So hold on, real quick. Let me break this down into layman's terms. You dig what I'm saying? 'Cause I got some
Mhm.
people we got to break that all the way down for. You feel me? So
Yes,
basically,
sir.
what you're saying is that Christopher Columbus, you feel what I'm saying? He brought new product to the block, something that's already been here. So it's like cocaine to crack.
Yes. Yes. He's the plug. He's the
He's the
OG to
plug.
the
He's the OG.
he's Tony Montana. That's yes. So now the thing is, the um the sugar history has it's a lot nastier and it's a lot larger than people will be led on to believe. I'm
Sure.
Haitian, and being a Haitian, you kind of you learn about Tucson and the revolution
Hmm.
and all that kind of stuff. But I didn't know that the revolution was about sugar. Sugar is very, very well protected, and sugar's history is very, very well protected. So the whole Haitian revolution, that was about sugar. You know what I'm saying? And so amongst this process, they find out that humans, and this is where it gets crazy.
And
They
let's be
find
clear.
out
Let's be clear. The number one crop in the world today still is sugar.
it's a certified fact. That is the
If
bag.
anybody don't believe me, you can go to your local history book, look up anything dealing with trade, and you always will see sugar cane. You won't see sugar; it'll say sugar cane. But keep on going, Doc.
Yes, sir. So the crazy thing they found out was that sugar was like insanely dangerous for humans to make. White people could not survive in the sugar fields, period, because they already had a slave free labor group, which was the criminal crop, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
of their own stock, you know what I'm saying? But white folks couldn't survive 6 months out there in the sugar fields. Black folks could take it a lot longer, right? So they they had they had their numbers. We survived for anywhere from 5 to 9 years in the sugar plantations before we die
Mm,
from the effects of the sugar. So
mm,
that's the key piece. Sugar was already known to kill humans from then, before it got big, before it even took over they already knew sugar killed humans, and they already knew sugar killed black folks, period, because they know from the plantation fields. They know that it rotted the teeth, it ate away at your your ability to reproduce, and just all of those things. They understood how once you're addicted to sugar, not having it makes you violent. Like, they understood all of these things already from that point going forward. So fast forward, with all that being said, now once you got all that in your mind, like for me anyway, it was disrespectful for somebody to say that melanin does photosynthesis.
mm.
And the problem is that most people are walking around with third and fourth grade vocabularies. So when somebody pops up and says melanin does photosynthesis, it sounds cool. It sounds like there's a reason to be proud of your melanin. You know what I'm saying? Besides being a monkey or being persecuted for the melanin, they're saying it does photosynthesis. And now you feel special. Right up until the point where you figure out that the end product of photosynthesis is sugar.
All right, Doc. You see my face right now, right? I'm like, huh?
Let me break it down for you. So, photosynthesis is the process
Right.
by which a plant absorbs sunlight and turns that sunlight energy into sugar. That's what photosynthesis is. That's how plants make fruit. That's the photosynthesis process. Absorb sun, make sugar, carbohydrates. That's what it does. Melanin doesn't make sugar. That's mad disrespectful to say that melanin makes sugar. And then somebody come along and say, oh no, doc, that's not what he meant. What he meant to say was that melanin is able to take sunlight and produce electricity. I said, no. That's not what he meant. Because there's vocabulary, there's a word for that. And since he's a doctor, we have to assume that he's not illiterate. We have to assume that he chose his words wisely. He wrote books on this. He's wrote scientific papers on this. So we have to assume that this man at least knows what photosynthesis is and what it means. So being able to take sunlight and produce a charge is not photosynthesis. That is photovoltaism. And everybody knows that because they use photovoltaics in order to make your solar powered everything. Yeah, all your solar panels are photovoltaic. They convert the sun into charge, into electricity, into a voltage. So photovoltaic. Right. So that's where, and I'm like, these people are really laughing at us because we take anything that's told to us about ourselves, hook, line, and sinker, and just run with it. Especially when it comes from somebody who is not us. When we teach us, because we don't know how to respect our own genius, we've been taught to hate ourselves. So the strongest target for that self-hate is anybody that does anything special amongst us. You know what I'm saying? So if you play basketball better, it's going to be an issue. You know what I'm saying? Think about the neighborhoods. Folks, in order to be a young, talented basketball player and make it out the neighborhood, you got to get the bad guys in the neighborhood to protect you until you get out.
Right, sure.
Yeah. Like people that's not from these hoods, they don't really understand this dynamic. But in order for, Allen Iverson or whoever, all these players, there's other guys in the neighborhood that have to make these people off limits in terms of the local bad guy. Like, oh, no. He's off limits. Don't. He can't join us, and he can't be. Let him go do what that thing that he's doing. That basketball, football. Because we have to have that. You know what I'm saying? Because the way we eat our own. So that was the whole thing with the photosynthesis, and I had a lot of pushback from the folks, but people are finally starting to understand it, and it's very important that we get that piece because the science textbooks have melanin and water listed as waste products.
As waste products, yeah. And it's funny. I have an article listed right now as while we was talking. I went and looked it up, and I'm like, yo, this is unreal. Like the whole front page of the Google section that I looked in had nothing but talking about how sugar is processed, glucose is formed in the photosynthesis process, how plant cells harvest glucose.
Yeah, how they turn the sunlight into glucose. Yeah.
That's
so
crazy.
To me, that was insane for people to believe. Like, I'm like, the number one killer of brown and black people on this planet is sugar and diabetes. Like, why would we listen to somebody tell us that our skin is making sugar? Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy. But again, if we don't educate ourselves about how our body works, somebody could tell us anything. And that is largely the problem. So, like, I'm not one of the people that like bang on the doctors or bang on the system or any of that. I just bang on the people like, listen, we're accountable for our own health. We have to figure this stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and once we figure out whatever, then nobody can't really mislead us. We can only be misled because we're in the dark, groping around.
Facts. Doc, listen, you are, yo, look, man, you are definitely putting it in right now. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm looking up an article right now, and so they're talking about the development of sugar-based anti-melogenetic agents. Mm,
No, that's a fact because sugar destroys melanin. And so they're using sugar as whitening for skin whitening. And then some people that associate, melanin with cancer and this all kinds of crazy stuff. Like to to prove this, because it's a very touchy subject. It gets very
right.
crazy. Me and my girlfriend did a poll. Now, she's blonde hair, white girl from the whitest of white as you can get.
Got you.
I'm all the way super thugging with it from the Bronx. Detroit is. So I'm like, no, 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 no. You can't do this with me here. You need to do this with your people in your neighborhood out there where you at.
Right.
I'm going to do this with my people out here. And we went around and just asked people, hey, have you ever heard of melanin? Okay, what is it? Nobody knew. White, black, there's no difference. Hey, what's diabetes? Oh, you have type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes and blah, 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 blah. That ain't been true for 40 years.
Mm,
It ain't no type 1 and type 2 diabetes. That's just common people trying to sound like they know what they're talking about and they don't. Type 1 diabetes has now become 3 different types of diabetes by itself.
hold that, Doc. Hold that, Doc. Hold that line right there. We're going to hold that line because we're going to get into that in a second. Okay? Mm-mm-mm. Man, like, hey, I thought, hey, hey, man, next time you jump in my inbox, man, give me a warning. You want to came with a label.
Look,
Hey, man, hey, you are
that's
definitely melanin versus
that's the label.
diabetes.
Melanin versus diabetes.
So, the American Healer trailer. Now, I think that was that you God on there
You got
or Killer Priest.
Killer Priest.
Killer
Definitely.
Priest. All right, cool. So look, before we get into that, right? I wanna ask another question real fast. So you just got finished saying, right? There's no such thing as type 1, type 2 diabetes. You feel me?
Not that there's no such thing, but people try to confine diabetes to type 1 and type 2. And I'm saying like
Okay.
40 years ago, that was accurate. But now it has expanded to where, yeah, that's just not the case anymore. Like we know now, like think about it. Even just adding in gestational diabetes, it makes it 3 different forms of diabetes. Then you add in Alzheimer's, then you add in
Wait,
hemochromatosis,
wait a
then
minute,
you
wait a minute,
add
wait,
in
wait a minute,
mitochondrial
wait a minute.
diabetes. Then you
You
okay, go
just
ahead.
said Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's is diabetes.
What?
Alzheimer's is now recognized as type 3 diabetes.
Okay. This is what I'm gonna need. I'm gonna need for all of y'all that's online right now. If you do not have a pen and paper out, y'all need to get it out now. Because we're about to go into the part of the segment, if you haven't already been doing it, where you need to write some of this information and research it for yourself. Because as he's talking, I'm doing that right now. And let me tell you, if y'all already know, I ain't for play when it comes to the information. Everything he's saying is straight on this internet. So go ahead, Doc. Finish that off for me one time.
Yeah. Well, Alzheimer's is super dangerous because um the craziest part about Alzheimer's is not that it's an extension of diabetes or that it comes from sugar. Because once you learn the nature of diabetes is that the sugar crystallizes on pigments. So that's it right there. Once you get that part down pack, anywhere in your brain where you have a high concentration of pigment, I mean, anywhere in your body where you have a concentration of pigment that's required for that organ or that system to function is where you're going to have a complication of diabetes. So, for instance, you have melanocytes in your heart that's required. And now this doesn't have nothing to do with black versus white people, because black people versus white people ends at the skin. Once you get inside the body, they got pigment all over the place, just like we got pigment all over the place. So it's not like that. But you have melanocytes in the heart required to maintain the heart function. You have neuromelanin throughout all your brain cells required for that. In your eyes, right? So you have the number one cause of heart disease, diabetes, right? Number one cause of brain disease, diabetes. In your eyes, you have a dozen or so pigments. That's why you go blind from diabetes. In your ear, you have melanocytes coupled to calcium crystals that convert the sound into, ionic pulses, so it's intelligible for the brain. But that's why diabetes causes you to lose your hearing. You know what I'm saying? Like all of these areas is so. Once you figure this out, it just kind of makes sense. But the most dangerous part about the Alzheimer's is not even that part. It's the fact that Alzheimer's has like a 20 to 50 year incubation period. That's the most dangerous, crazy part about Alzheimer's. So to make that plain for people, Alzheimer's is probably the trickiest guy in the building, right? Meaning, like most people, I always thought that people got Alzheimer's when they was 50, 60, 70 years old. When you can't remember, you're getting senile, you got that, that Alzheimer's kicking in. I had no idea that if you're 60, right, when your Alzheimer's sets in, the strong symptoms that we know, like you go to the supermarket and then you forgot where the car is, or you got in the car and forgot how to get home. That means you got the Alzheimer's at 30, at 25, at 22. And the symptoms of the debilitation didn't show up until you was 50 or 60. And that's the reason why science hasn't really been able to do anything with Alzheimer's. So that's changing now, right? Now we know what to do to fight Alzheimer's. You fight the diabetes, you fight the sugar buildup. But trying to fight Alzheimer's at 60 or 70 was unsuccessful, and they didn't throw billions of dollars at it. The reason being is because it's already set in for 30, 40 years. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's a wrap. You don't allow the X amount of billions of neurons to build up too much, whether it's tau proteins or, just just all of the different little, I say glitches in the brain that amount to Alzheimer's, whether it's the glial cells not functioning anymore, or being overwhelmed, or the astrocytes, or whatever the case it is. You know what I'm saying? Like all of those things. But it stems from the sugar. And it almost seems like common sense, like we should have been new, because we always learn that most of your body's sugar or energy is used by the brain. So it's almost, how did we miss that for so long? Like any sugar problem, we should know that the brain gonna feel it more than anything else, because but yeah, so that's where science is today. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be abreast of that. That's why I like, I don't play with the health information, you know what I'm saying, because of the internet. Like everybody want to, be special, and they want to, but the health information is different. You got to really be like, you got to be a lifer with this. Like you got to really be on 24/7, because it's always changing. You know what I'm saying? Everything is always changing. So you really got to like be swift with it.
So Doc, I want to ask you this, man, because I got two more points I want to talk about.
I'm with you. Time limit.
I know, sir. Thank you. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta tell you, baby girl at work, so it's gonna be like, Daddy, you gonna pick me up for work? So we got another 25 minutes. You feel me?
Oh,
So look,
yes, sir.
I want to play a piece of the trailer of American Healer. Now it's a minute and 30, and Killer Priest is literally talking about the syllabus that comes with this documentary. And I'm sitting there like, yo, there's a syllabus on this thing?
No, that's me in the beginning.
Oh, that's you? I'm telling you, hey, you and him sound just alike, bro. You and him sound just alike.
Hey, listen, that right there is a legendary voice. That's a major compliment. If you say I sound like Killer Priest, that's
I thought that was him talking. That's why I asked. I'm like, yo, that's Killer Priest talking? That's why I
I
asked.
do want to get him on some. I do want to do some music with Killer Priest because of that voice. He think you know what's funny though? When people compliment his voice, he don't really, he I guess he might just be so down to earth. He just like,
he just stay humble with it, man. But he always been that way. Look, I'm gonna tell you, I won't be surprised if you and I had traveled in some of the same circles. You feel what I'm saying? So
absolutely.
I had graduated from Steve-O before Stevenson, changed his name. So I'm from that 80, 88, 80, 87, 88 era. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm from up that way. So, but
OG.
yeah. Why you had to say that? Oh, my whole body just started aching when you said that part. Oh, but look, man. Listen, everybody, I'm gonna play it. Huh?
That's a good term.
Yeah. We're gonna run. Hey, we're gonna run with that. But I want everybody to check this out real quick. You feel what I'm saying? It is the American Healer, and it's the syllabus that goes along with this trailer. And the documentary is out now, right? And we're gonna come after we play that, we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about that. All right?
Yep.
Okay, so we want to open up talking about weight loss and body transformation. From there, we want to move into assessing the overarching relationship between fatherhood and being a healer and how nature has.
We didn't hear anything.
Oh, y'all didn't hear nothing on it? That's weird. Because it played earlier in the day.
It's like pieces we heard. Like we didn't hear the whole. It was like,
wow, I'm a little upset behind that. I don't know why I did that.
Let me see if I can.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, dang.
Oh man.
But you know what I can do? For your platform, I could just send you a copy of the whole documentary, and then you can upload it to your page, and then bam, people have it.
Okay, definitely. I definitely will do that. So listen, everybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see it or hear it. I don't know why it didn't I'm gonna let the platform know that it didn't happen. But it was talking about the syllabus that goes along with the American Healer, basically like a table of contents.
Okay, so basically, yeah. So I'll explain some of how it was laid out. So shout out to Mr. G. Mr. G came to my crib, and he was like, we were having a conversation, and he came out to film some stuff or whatever. But he was like, once he got here and he seen the crib and he seen how I was living and doing everything by myself, he was like, bro, I think that you selling yourself a little bit short because people don't really understand all of this. They don't, like, I don't know any. I've been watching your stuff and listening to you, and I don't know, like, bro, this is what you need to. He was like, you need like almost like a reality TV show. You got to open up your life to people so that they can understand you a little bit more, because you're like like different. So a part of the documentary is me trying to share more of me with the people that have been, supporting for so long. And then the other part is me trying to just allow people to tell their stories and inspire and motivate that way. So I wanted to give people different facets of the diabetes war, so to speak.
Right.
Because one of the things that you did is obesity. So the first brother that speaks in the documentary was about 400 pounds or so when I met him, or when he came to the information. And so he talks about his journey using the information and the products and, our special blend of mosses and how he lost all his weight. So that's one piece. Then we have another brother, Marvin, who after getting rid of his high blood pressure and diabetes became a student of mine, and now he is out and about, healing and changing lives on his own. But
Nice.
he's there so he's there telling that story. Then the next story is a brother named Jimmy and his mom telling a story about how his mom had 2 stage 4 cancers and we beat that.
Mm.
And so she's walking through that story with her son. And then the last of those testimonies is a brother named Osborne who had a stroke, had tumors, and also had, I believe he was at the doorway of brittle diabetes, which is another type of diabetes. You know what I'm saying? It's like another, brittle diabetes. So like if you have type 2 diabetes and it gets really bad, they'll consider it like brittle diabetes. Or if you have any of the diabetes and they get really, really bad, that's brittle diabetes. So that's why I be like really on people, because there's a lot of people that they just, again, social media makes everybody want to sound cute, funny, and witty. So people like, oh, you got type 2 diabetes? Oh, that's no problem. Just change your diet and do some exercise and it'll go right away. It's like, that's not exactly true. It's not false, but it's not exactly true. So if you have somebody pre-diabetes, you know what I'm saying, or they just catching their body as it's beginning to start to become diabetic, sure. Diet, lifestyle, exercise, no problem. But once a person has had type 2 diabetes, see, here's another thing that people don't understand about diabetes. All roads lead to Wakanda. You know what I'm saying?
Get and kill
That
the
is,
myth on them right now. Kill the myth.
every single form of diabetes becomes type 1 diabetes. The basic original premise that separated the two was type 1 diabetes was insulin dependent, type 2 diabetes was not, at least not initially until later on. And so that's what people have to understand. No matter what, you're going to become insulin dependent, because no matter what form of diabetes you have, it's going to start destroying beta cells. And, it just is a big rabbit hole of information and ignorance that people don't get. Like even the pancreas, people assume, like if you ask John Q. Public, hey, what does your pancreas do? They go either say, I don't know, or they're going to say, oh, your pancreas makes insulin. And that's not what the pancreas do. That's not the pancreas job. You know what I'm saying? The pancreas' #1 job is to make alkaline compounds to help your body with digesting so that you're not digesting poison. So when you look at the actual pancreas, it really should be two separate glands because you have exocrine tissue and endocrine tissue. Exocrine tissue is the tissue that performs the digestive function. Endocrine is the tissue inside the pancreas that produces insulin. The problem is that 95 to 99% of your pancreas tissue is exocrine tissue. 1 to 5% is beta cells that produce insulin. So that means, based on the numbers alone, the main job of the pancreas is alkaline digestive juices, not insulin. And the majority of the tissue is exocrine. But the problem is that tissue gets inflamed very easy. That tissue gets inflamed, like it could just get. So the bottom line is the beta cells in the pancreas is going to shrink no matter what form of diabetes you have. And when that starts to happen, up until this point, there has been no solution for that.
Right.
2-3 years ago, scientists discovered that there are some plants that can regrow the pancreas. And they went ahead and, you know, obviously pharmaceutical, that's the other piece that's in the documentary.
Right.
That the discovery of this compound that, well, a couple of things. The discovery of DIRC1A, which is the molecule that blocks beta cells from being regenerated in the body.
Wow.
Right. So now they find out, okay, here's the reason why beta cells don't grow back, because you got something in here stopping them. So the second piece was trying to find something to neutralize DIRC1A. So now they found harmine neutralizes DIRC1A, and then you can regrow beta cells again. And then harmine needs to be combined with a couple other things to boost the output and all that kind of stuff. But so we've been able, me, myself, my little team, we've taken that information, and instead of, obviously, because we're not with the pharmaceutical teams, but we've made the plant compounds to do the same thing. And you know, like I said, you know, we got the folks in the documentary showing, you know, the testimonies that obviously we on to something because what we're doing is working. So the syllabus just kind of walks through what people can expect to see in there, and then we obviously have some workout stuff in there. I have me and my family going out into the ocean to harvest the Irish moss.
Nice.
Because there's a lot of confusion around the sea moss and Irish moss and what's this one, what's that one, what Sabi said versus this, that, and the other. And so crazy out there. So just a lot of misinformation trying to clear up all over the place and get people, you know. But again, self-hate, you know what I'm saying? So I started like a movement on Clubhouse. It didn't really pick up yet, but I'm going to keep pushing it. Genius lives matter. Seriously, because genius lives matter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we don't really understand that. Like, even with Sabi,
Right.
you got a lot of people hollering his name now, but when he was alive,
they wasn't even talking about him.
Soon as he died, and it's, oh, well, Sabi was, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. He might still be here if y'all was supporting while he was, huh? You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of understanding that, you know, creativity, ingenuity, you know, that comes from anywhere, but usually it comes from problem places. The greatest solutions come from the people with the greatest problems. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that's just how nature functions. Nature turns carbon into diamonds for that reason. You know what I'm saying? Pressure, you know what I'm saying? And we teach that, even apply that principle in terms of building the body, you know, with hormesis training. So yeah, it's a lot in the doc. You know what I'm saying? The documentary is like 4 hours and change. And then the documentary leads into like another crazy thing that we did. Like we had the mayor and the city council of Peekskill, New York, come out. They passed a bill for us to start our health reform up there. So you never had like a holistic or naturopathic doctor work with city officials in that capacity to try to bring health to the people. So you know, we're on the grind. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Peekskill. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to them. You feel me? For believing in something that many people will only try when they're on their deathbed.
These are facts. These are facts.
So look, I got a question, man. I got one question, man.
Fire away.
We got to do part 2 to this.
Got a question. Serious as cancer. Who can keep the average dancer hype as a heart? Yeah, we gotta do part 2. Part 2, part 3, part 10. I'm with it.
Because look, I'm gonna tell you this, facts. We'll wrap. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm 340. I'm on the cusp of the diabetes thing. I have high blood pressure. And the thing about it is, I was thinking about this today before you even came on, is that I know better.
Oh man, let me tell you, I got a super cheat code for high blood pressure. And it so far, like when I came with this research, I'm be honest, it was mostly for my guy Osborne, because he also had the high blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? So it was mostly for him. You know what I'm saying?
He said the super cheat code. Let's go.
But then when I just start like putting it out there, and you know, in the videos, lectures, whatever, people start trying it out, they was like, yo, this is crazy. So basically, the way the body works, right? The body works, and we got 7 minutes left. Trust me, I was watching, because you said 25 minutes and 55 minutes, and immediately I'm like, man, this is going to be a magic show, just because it's 120 minutes, and that 120 is, you know, you already know what the 120 is.
We already know.
So, boom. So, right. So even like now on the check-in, it's 7 minutes left, right? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm checking out that the whole body, you know, it works on like this duality binary thing. So even in health, it's not like about like people is like, oh, you need to get this mineral, that mineral. It's not, it doesn't go like that. Your body's about balance. And so you got antagonists, and then you got catalysts. You know what I'm saying? And I find out that, you know, sodium, in a lot of instances, it is partnered or counterbalanced by potassium. And that in nature, when you eat natural foods come with like a 4-to-1 minimum ratio of potassium to sodium. So the problem in our food is not sodium. Like all the doctors say, avoid salt, avoid salt, avoid salt, avoid salt. Avoiding salt is not really the big thing. What it is we're getting in the sodium and the potassium ratio upside down. The foods that we're eating have 2, 3, 4 times as much sodium as it does potassium. So that's why the potassium is problematic. If we flip that around and we consume the potassium and the sodium in the right ratio, the blood pressure goes down. And then the other piece is, if we have the vitamin K will grab all of the calcium, because another part to high blood pressure sometimes is you might not know it, but your body, this is some weird thing that I'm dealing with too. I still got more work to do on this, because this is kind of crazy, but it's like your body wants to turn itself into a rock. So when people think about stones, they only think about like kidney stones, or you hear goofy, folks like, oh, white people have a calcified pineal gland. Like, no, everybody has calcium crystals in their pineal gland. That's how your pineal gland works. You have crystals also in your ear that you need to have. That's how it works. But your body will calcify everywhere. Your blood vessels, your breasts, man or female, like it's everywhere if you don't have your vitamin K levels and your magnesium levels correct. But vitamin K literally takes all the calcium that's in the tissues where it shouldn't be and pushes it back into the cells where it belongs.
Wow.
So your potassium will flush out that sodium, and then the vitamin K will go ahead and put that calcium back where it belongs. And then that's been giving people like the amazing lift. You know what I'm saying? And anybody listening, just like you also, you can take any of these things back to your doctor and check with your doctor and say, listen, I had this crazy guy from online on my page. I mean, gold teeth and everything. Still said he a doctor, but this guy got gold teeth and a gold chain on. He said the damnedest thing. He said that potassium and sodium is supposed to come in a ratio like this and blah, 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 blah. And you'd be surprised what the doctor going to say. He going to be like, now, where you hear that guy from? How much did he charge you for this? How much did he charge you for this consultation? Because he gave you some high level. Did you tip him? Because you should have tipped him. You should have tipped him. Because where you get that from? And yeah, so these little things is like, chemistry stuff. But people don't realize that your body runs on biochemistry. You know what I'm saying? So we kind of got to get that piece down. Neurochemistry, biochemistry. Your body runs on chemistry. So, yeah. But those are two nice little cheat codes that are really help out. Like vitamin. So people that's interested, you might not take it to your doctor, whatever. But if you want to look it up, just look up potassium versus sodium. Google it or whatever, versus vitamin K versus calcium deposits or whatever. You can pull it up. Yeah, good stuff.
Hey, yo, look. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't even feel like ending this right now. But oh my God, yeah, you just kind of opened up a whole encyclopedia of things that honestly, that I believe that people always wanted to know. So it's like you have this book, like part of the book of surviving and living life. You know, we when it comes to foods.
I actually have that though. 400 and something pages. I wrote a book called Eat Right for Your Haplotype. And part of the book was in response to this guy named, I forgot his last name, Michael something something. He wrote a book and a series with his children called Eat Right for Your Blood Type. But that book is so full of misinformation and crazy stuff that it just was too much. Person after person after person after person. Like, hey, I heard you should eat right for your blood. I'm like, what does that mean? What does eat right for your blood type mean? What is your blood type? Like, that's so ridiculous. But again, like the photosynthesis thing, people don't know what it is. So they thinking that blood type is a thing. I'm like, bro, blood type is not even a thing like that. Blood type is about what's on the outside of the cell, not what's inside the cells. If you're feeding a cell, you feed the inside of your cell. Why would you be like that? Don't even make sense. I'm like, no, the blood type is separated by antigens, the stuff that's on the outside of the cell. That's not it. That has nothing to do with the endoplasmic reticulum and how you produce enzymes. I said, no, that's foolishness right there. Don't go along with that. That's not what you need to do. If anything, you need to eat right for your haplotype, which is your bloodline, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Your family lineage, where you're from. You know what I'm saying? That may have, but that's not blood type. That's not a thing. You know what I'm saying?
So Doc, I got the number. I know how to get in touch with you.
Yes, sir.
Tell everyone how they can get in touch with you, Doc.
Through you.
Facts. I got it. Yo, anybody want any information how to get in touch with Dr. Nikki? Dr. Inky? Hey, yo, look, hit me up. I know how to get in touch with him. I put you on to it. You know what I'm saying? And rest is up to you, man. Doc, I want to say thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. I would love to do a part 2 to this.
Definitely.
really, you just gave a cheat code for people that didn't pay attention to potassium and the vitamin K. Now I understand how come, we need to eat nuts, certain greens, things like that, without the sugar in it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, but that's another story. We gonna go ahead and leave that where it's at. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
All right, look, man, I'm gonna talk with everybody later, man. Y'all appreciate everybody showing up tonight. Doc, man, I don't even know what to say. You got me super speechless right now, man.
Nah, we coming right back soon as you ready. I do this all day. Like, this ain't nothing.
All right, that's what's up.
People that know me, they know I do 11-hour, 12-hour. I just did a 40-hour marathon.
I was about to say that, you gotta check out his 48-hour run that he did. I was watching some of it today, and I was like, oh my God, all this information. It is right here. We just gotta want to look at it.
Yeah.
So I definitely appreciate it, man. Dr. Inky, fire. I don't know what to say.
Soon as you're ready. Next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, let's do it.
Okay, I'll get in touch with your people, and we go from there. Yo, look, yes, everyone that's out there, you dig what I'm saying? Yo, look, man. All I can tell you is, man, investigate, do what you do. My man, Dr. Inky, just logged off. I appreciate everybody for coming on tonight. Y'all know what it is. Got to go pick baby girl up from work. Y'all know what it is. I love y'all, man. I'm going to talk to y'all next week. Part 2 on the way. Dr. Inky, the American Healer. I'm going to talk to y'all later. Peace.
Feels so good. Feels good, don't it? Everybody, come on. Throw your hands up. We got that feel-good music, that vibe that make you wanna lose it. Everybody stop what you doing, rock to the music, bounce to the music. For all my people all across the globe, we got that feel-good music that'll heal your soul. No matter what, hit the dance floor with